James Blake, James is a little modest. He didn't want to bring it up, so I'm going to bring it up for him.
I actually paid him.
He drilled a hole-in-one yesterday at the Dunes, hole number 7, 4-iron, 202 yards. If you want to talk golf as well as tennis, I'm sure he's happy to tell you how great it was and how much he got off Marty Fish for the year.
Did you say 402 yards?
202. 4-iron. Good, we're starting with golf questions. I like it.
What would be better, another hole-in-one at one of the big courses, winning here or Carolina?
Winning here. That's an easy one. Hole-in-one was fun, but winning here would be a whole lot more fun.
Anybody have it on tape?
Not on tape, but I had 3 witnesses, Marty Fish, Scott Humphreys, and my coach, Brian Barker. And Brian and Humphreys owe us dinner, so it was worth it.
Did you see it bounce in? Did you see it?
I saw it rolling. It kind of went behind a little hill, so we weren't sure. But Brian was like, "I could have sworn I saw that disappear. I think it's gone. Maybe it rolled off. I don't know." But I think, and then we couldn't see it, and I was the first to go. So we had to wait for them to go. But when I saw my coach jumping like on a rock to see if he could see any balls down there, and he's like, "I don't see anything. I don't see anything." I'm like, "I think it might have gone in." And drove up and right in the hole. As we were driving up, we could see there were no balls on the green, and then I thought for sure, because I didn't think it rolled all the way off.
In golf, there's obviously the ultimate of a hole-in-one, but what's the biggest one shot that you've had in your career?
In tennis?
In tennis, what's the biggest shot?
Biggest one shot. Wow. I don't know, that's tough. There's so many points in every single match that are exciting and thrilling, and I mean, some of the most meaningless points are the most exciting. You know, whether it's a 40 love point that you hit a between the legs winner or something, but the one that stands out the most for me might be match point to win against Andre Agassi. I remember that one specifically. Maybe the one I lost. Probably the one that'll stick in my memory the longest is the weak second serve in the middle of the box that Andre pounded onto the line for to lose that match last year, or 2 years ago now, I guess, in the U.S. Open. But I don't know what. There's so many points in my career that's now making me feel older, that I've got so many memories of so many points.
And briefly, the memory of the Agassi match point win that was the one that you first
I ripped a forehand. I ripped the forehand inside in from the backhand corner, just ripped it down the line. Because I think I'd already given away one break of serve. I just said, you know what, I've gotten here by ripping. I'm going to just go after my shots. I just absolutely tattooed a forehand and it went in.
So James, put on your Players Council president hat.
Vice president.
Excuse me. Soon to be president. President in waiting. And tell me what you think the future of round robin should be.
My personal opinion or my diplomatic presidential answer? My personal opinion, they shouldn't be anymore. Leave it for the Masters Cup and that's it. Diplomatically, I'd say, you know, we'll revisit it and we'll talk, but I don't want it anymore. It's too many. There's too many variables. There's too many possibilities of matches that could turn into basically exhibitions, or after one set, they could turn into exhibitions. And you know, I don't want to see more round robin tournaments that get decided on who goes through by a rule as opposed to by who wins a match. And I just want to go out there, and even with the scenario of going out to win by a certain score, it's not natural. I mean, you wouldn't tell a basketball team to go out and cover a line like a Vegas spread. You tell them to go out and win the game. And so it's just a little bit of an unnatural feeling as an athlete. So for me, we tried it, we experimented. I am, you know, so far I don't think it's worked out that well. I don't know all the research or the results from the fans, but we need to take that into consideration. But in my opinion, it's not worth it.
Do you think that, you know, if it had been more straightforward and just followed the way the Tennis Masters Cup round robin worked, rather than going through all the machinations and inside and outside and goodness knows what else, that maybe people would have accepted it a bit more?
Yeah, maybe. I'd love it if every tournament was at just 8 players. But that's a little biased since I'm number 6 in the world. I'd get into all of them. But it would make for a lot of guys losing their jobs. And
I'm not meaning just 8 players. but if it was actually split up, and it's just,
Yeah, I understand what you mean, just maybe having a four-man group, but I think that makes it so difficult to force guys to play 3 matches. If, in the Masters Cup, you're excited to play every single match, and with such a long year, there can be times where a guy's lost his first 2 and doesn't care and has a little injury and just stops, plays 1 game and stops or whatever, and I think there's too many chances where there could be those exhibition matches still, and I don't know if that's worth it if the fans would accept it. I'm not sure. I don't know how much they know about whether or not the guys are trying out there, whether they're trying 95% or if they're really giving 100% in exhibition match. It only means a difference of 10 points or something. So I don't know how that would go over with fans, but for the players, it makes it so much tougher.
Did you make the call to Etienne, or was it someone else?
It was a conference call. I was in the room. There was, who else in there? Mark Darby, a couple of the umpires, my coach, Brian, Keith Crossland, Fabricio, and we had Andre Silva on the phone, so it was a whole bunch of us.
But it wasn't, was it your initiative, or was it Darby's, or was it?
No. My initiative was just going in to talk to Darby about it, to learn about the rule, to find out what was going on, how this happened, how come no one let us know of the rule, all that kind of stuff, and it just kind of spiraled into a long discussion, and before we knew it, we were on the phone with Etienne. So I don't know who initially called him, but we just decided maybe we need to get more people on the line as to figuring out this situation.
Etienne has had a lot of good response from players and media and so forth. Were you disappointed in his role in this situation?
Well, it's tough to say for sure, because obviously he tried to rule in my favor, so I mean that should be good for me. But I think giving it time now and looking back, I think that was the wrong decision. So I think he's admitted that. I think he was very rushed. I think it was 1 a.m. his time when we called him. So it's pretty tough to make a presidential decision at 1 a.m. after you've been asleep for a few hours probably, but I think he just made a decision too quickly. But all ended okay. Korolev got in, and he was the one that deserved to be there, and he won his match. So hopefully it was the best end result, and hopefully the best thing that might come of it is that round robins might be going by the wayside, which would be, in my opinion, a good thing. So maybe it all worked out in the end.
Can you possibly compare 2 pretty rough things that happened to you running into the round robin situation in Vegas, and then that terrible call at the Davis Cup that arguably cost you the match?
Yeah, well, until you mentioned that, I had actually forgotten about that. So that's a good thing. That means I'll probably forget about this Vegas thing pretty soon too. And it's a very good thing in my mind because it means I'm learning. I've learned that lesson that Sampras tried to teach me many years ago, is to have a short memory. And yeah, I'd completely forgotten about that call. That Davis Cup match at the time was extremely important. I was extremely bummed right afterwards. Felt like I let the team down, but as soon as we won the tie, that match is meaningless. Outside of a little confidence boost to Burdich, a little ego depletion on my part, but it was done then. We won the tie. We're moving on. I'm thinking about Spain in terms of Davis Cups.